right, everybody, it's time for some new low-effort reaction content in which I take advantage of all the hard work done by the good people over at Loudwire to farm content for my crappy YouTube channel. In this case, we're going to be talking about their new article, Best Metal Song of Each Year Since 1970. And by the way, if you like this, please check out the article. I'll put a link to this in the description because I do appreciate all the work that the fine folks at Loudwire do. And I'm going to skip ahead because I don't care about anything from the 70s. So I'm going to skip ahead. Because there's so many songs here, I'm going to skip anything that I don't care about. In my opinion, the 80s is when metal started to get kind of good. So in 1980, we have Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. I feel like, first of all, I didn't realize this song was from 1980. I thought it was a little bit newer than that. But I would say a great choice. Song definitely still holds up. Kind of underrated. I feel like it's kind of weird. I feel like Ozzy is actually underrated in the sense of you really never hear like younger people mention him as an influence, which I think is kind of weird because this era of Ozzy is actually really good. Like legitimately great. Yeah. Crazy Train is actually like pop metal. It absolutely is. And Suicide Solution, like Bark at the Moon, like this era of Ozzy is like ridiculously good just from like a pop songwriting perspective. So I'm on board with that. 1981, Wrathchild by Iron Maiden. All right. Well, I don't listen to Iron Maiden, so I can't comment on that. More Iron Maiden. Dio, Holy Diver by Dio. I can't believe they covered the Killswitch song. Dio was one of these bands that when I was a kid, I would go to the record store and I would see their albums in like, you know, the dollar bin or whatever. And based on their cover art, I thought that they would sound like Sepultura or something like that. Like really cool, like evil, you know, heavy thrash. I also thought the same thing about King Diamond. Yeah, sick covers, okay music. I never heard Dio probably until like the 90s or something like that. And I was incredibly disappointed. Dio was a cool band, but it's like I was expecting them to sound like Sepultura and well, they don't. They sound like Dio. Ronnie is the short king with the big voice. That's right. Listen, Ronnie James Dio seemed like a really cool guy. Rest in peace. Some great songs, but you know, Dio, I could just never get into him simply because I was expecting them to be something that they weren't, which is not fair. Not fair, but that's just how it was. 1984 is Creeping Death by Metallica. Okay, yeah, you know, I feel like metal didn't actually get really good until like 1985, so I'm kind of indifferent on anything up to and including 1984. Seems like a valid choice to me. Exodus, Strike of the Beast by Exodus. Runner-up, Madhouse by Anthrax. I feel like that's ambitious to choose Exodus from 1985, but okay. Here we go. 1986, Slayer, Angel of Death. Now, this absolutely, I mean, what other song could you possibly choose than this? I mean, this is like the definitive thrash song, in my opinion. If this song was not the choice for 1986, then I feel like this list would be very wrong. I agree with this. This is the start of metal. I agree with that. Really, especially like Slayer and didn't SOD, Stormtroopers of Death, they came out in 1985, didn't they? I would have probably chosen this for 1985, I think. If you've never heard this band, you should. One of the best, like, thrash bands of all time. This album was incredible. Yeah, this is 1985. It sounds amazing, doesn't it? Still sounds great to me. Still 10 out of 10 album to me. Great song titles. Kill Yourself. Man, I listened to this album so much in high school. I probably listened to this album 1,000 times. Here's the mosh part. All right, 1987, Death, Zombie Ritual. I gotta say, I know this is gonna upset a lot of people. I think Death is a little bit overrated. I certainly think they're very good, but I think Death is a little bit overrated. I really do. And I certainly wouldn't pick this album as their best. I'd have to see what else came out in 1987. I feel like there's some better choices, but I'd have to look. And I'm sorry, all the Chuck stans, you know, rest in peace to Chuck. Seems like a good dude. But I think they're a little bit overrated. 1988 is One by Metallica off of And Justice for All. I would certainly agree with that. Even me, a certified Metallica not enjoyer, I gotta say one is absolutely one of the most iconic songs in any genre. In particular, you know, the little breakdown, the double bass breakdown in one is pretty much responsible for the whole idea of like how everyone does like these syncopated chugs now, you know, with the kick drum and the chugs in, you know, in the same time as each other. Dino from Fear Factory said that that's like sort of what made him start Fear Factory and have that like really like chuggy kind of sound. I would certainly agree with including them on this list. From 1989, we've got Chapel of Ghouls by Morbid Angel. I love this song. I have a tattoo of the artwork for this album on my leg, which I got about 25 years ago. I'm a Morbid Angel stan, especially the first like 3 albums or so. In a way, I also feel like Morbid Angel is underrated, even though everybody knows who they are. And I think everyone respects Morbid Angel. Like, do you ever hear people list Morbid Angel as an influence? You know what I mean? That's my question. Let's listen to this really quick. I love this song. I love this song. It's so catchy. Got a good mosh part too. This part. So catchy. Morbid Angel is underrated in my opinion. Okay, 1990 we have Holy Wars, The Punishment Due by Megadeth. Now, again, I am a certified Megadeth disliker. I think Megadeth sucks. I think they're totally overrated. I think that they're mid at best. And I think that this song is absolutely god tier. This is like the only thing Megadeth ever did that's just fucking incredible, and it's one of the best thrash songs ever made. The runner-up here is Cowboys from Hell by Pantera. I would probably pick Cowboys from Hell, but, you know, I respect it. I think Holy Wars is a valid choice. 1991, we've got Enter Sandman by Metallica. I mean, again, this has to be on the list. No question about that. Yeah, this is the most important metal album of all time. Like, it just is. I still personally think this is Metallica's like best work. It still holds up, and this song changed everything for Metallica, changed everything for metal. So I would say it absolutely needs to be on this list. From 1992, we've got Mouth for War by Pantera. A controversial pick because although Mouth for War is my personal favorite Pantera song, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't choose Walk because that was obviously the biggest song in the album. But Mouth for War is my personal favorite Pantera song. The riff is so weird. It's such a weird riff. The main riff. This riff is so weird. Yeah, this is a great video too. Your man Machine Gun Philly saying that Alice in Chains got screwed here. Well, I think it's debatable whether Alice in Chains is metal or not, right? I mean, I love Alice in Chains. I think they're great. But if this is a list of best metal songs, I don't know that I would call Alice in Chains metal exactly. Certainly influenced by metal. But, you know, maybe like Man in the Box and like We Die Young, maybe. But I wouldn't really call, you know, Dirt a metal album, I don't think. 1993, we've got Black Number 1 by Typo Negative. Man, I'd have to see what else came out in 1993 to say whether this would be my pick or not, because, you know, we're getting into the years here where there's some really seriously good shit. For example, their runner-up is Refused Resist by Sepultura, but I'll take it. I mean, Typo Negative was a really special band. Pete Steele was like an incredibly gifted, hilarious dude, and this album is the one that put Roadrunner on the map. This was their biggest album by far at that point, before Slipknot and Nickelback and all that, so I'll take it. 1994, I'm Broken by Pantera. Again, I'll take it. One of my favorite Pantera songs. I mean, this album also super significant because this album went to #1 on Billboard, and it's probably, well, not probably, it's definitely the heaviest album ever to go #1 on Billboard. So yeah, I'll take it. Still sounds great to me. 1995, we've got Crystal Mountain by Death. Again, listen, I love Death and I think this is a cool album, but I'm pretty sure in the 1995 their runner-up is Slaughter of the Soul by At the Gates. I gotta think that there's more. There's something else from 1995 that I would say probably deserves this spot more than Death. I certainly would say that, like, Slaughter of the Soul, I would probably pick that for 1995. Meshuggah, Destroy, Erase, Improve, that's a valid choice too. I don't know. I'm just it feels tacky because, you know, with Chuck being dead, it feels like we're not allowed to say it. But I don't think death is like really in that truly like elite tier, in my personal opinion. 1996, Tool, Anima, however you say it, definitely not on board with this. Runner-up is Roots, Bloody Roots by Sepultura. I would certainly choose that. Shit, I would pick Machine Head over Tool. Like, oh, Demanufacture came out in 1995. There we go. Like, Demanufacture by Fear Factory certainly belongs on this list over Death, in my opinion. And we definitely don't need Tool on this list. Definitely don't need that. 1997, we've got Du Hast by Rammstein. Yeah, I don't really get the Rammstein hype at all. I mean, I think they're okay, but literally all their songs kind of sound the same. Do you hate all Tool? I don't hate Tool. Actually, I like Opiate okay. But Rammstein, yeah, they're kind of catchy, but I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that of everything that came out in 1997, that this was the best thing. I don't know. I'd have to look. But that's what I think. 1998, Freak on a Leash by Korn. Sure, I'll take it. Come to think of it, I feel like Korn probably should have been on this list earlier, maybe in 94 or something, but you got to have Korn on this list. No question. I mean, Korn is one of the top 3 or 4 most important metal bands of all time. You know, Black Sabbath, Slayer, you know, Korn, Metallica. I mean, they're up there with those, you know? So you got to have Korn on the list for sure. Not my personal favorite Korn song by any means. However, I think it's valid to include that. I mean, this is sort of their definitive song for a lot of people, so I'm on board with it. Wait and Bleed by Slipknot in 1999. Runner-up is Neurosis, Times of Grace. People, Neurosis is so overrated. Slipknot, sure, yes, they belong on this list. Didn't Calculating Infinity by Dillinger Escape Plan come out in 99? I probably would have picked something off that, but Neurosis, people, get off Neurosis's dick. They're so fucking boring. I saw Neurosis in like 1998 or something with Bloodlet, and they did a drum circle for like half an hour. Like the last fucking half hour of Neurosis's set was like them being like bum 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 for like half a fucking hour. Well, there was some like artsy film playing behind them. Like, ugh, God, I don't get it at all. Do not get the Neurosis hype at all. But Slipknot, on board with that. From 2000, we've got Iron Maiden, The Wicker Man. Well, I do not listen to Iron Maiden, so I can't comment on this, but I will say this artwork reminds me of the golden era of PC RPGs. You guys remember big box PC games back in like the in the 90s and 2000s? The big box PC games where they had all the cool artwork on the front and it would open up and there was a map and an instruction book and all that kind of stuff. I've never heard this album, but this artwork reminds me of big box PC games. So I'm on board with it just for that reason. I feel like this would be like an expansion for like Command and Conquer or something like that. Like the Brave New World expansion where the bad guys have taken over London and you have to fight to get it back from them. 2001, Lateralis from Tool. Listen, I'll tell you how disappointed I am for this is that their runner-up is System of a Down. I am so disappointed to see Tool on this list that I would choose System of a Down over this, and I am confirmed to be a certified System of a Down hater. I'd have to look at what else came out in 2001, but I mean, come on, Tool? I mean, Tool's like barely even metal. 2002, we've got Rational Gaze by Meshuggah off of Nothing. Tell you what is not good is this cover art. This cover art looks like somebody that downloaded a pirated copy of Photoshop and spent like all weekend making the demo for their, you know, local band, and they came up with this. Yeah, Meteora not on here, or Hybrid Theory. That is surprising. It's true. Very surprising that we don't see any Linkin Park in here. This is very surprising. I mean, Meshuggah, totally valid choice. I probably wouldn't choose this song, but valid choice. Meshuggah deserves to be on the list for sure. 2002, Dimmu Borgir, Progenies of the Great Eclipse, or 2003 rather. I will totally back this. I'm not a huge fan of black metal in general, and I know that a lot of people think that Dimmu Borgir is fake black metal, which, you know, maybe they are, but this song is fucking awesome. This song is great. So catchy. Death Clock is better than Dimmu Borgir. I like his landing strip. I'm on board with this. I think Dimmu Borgir is great. 2004, we've got The End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage. Completely agree with this. Killswitch is obviously the definitive metalcore band. This song is arguably, you know, the definitive Killswitch song. There's probably, you know, you could take your choice of a few different songs, but yeah, I'm on board with this. You got to have Killswitch on this list, and this is as good of a song as any. So I'm on board with that. 2005, we have Ghost of Perdition by Opeth. And you guys might be surprised by this because you may think that I'm an Opeth hater. I'm not. I think Opeth is amazing. I think that this album is an absolute masterpiece, and I think this is the best Opeth song. Yeah, I'm totally on board with this. Runner-up, System of a Down. So I'd certainly rather see Opeth on this list than System of a Down. Between the Buried Me came out in 2005. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that the guys in Between the Buried and Me would agree with me that Opeth is better than Between the Buried and Me. I would bet everything I own that they would agree with me on that. I mean, Between the Buried and Me, awesome. Love them. Great band. But Opeth belongs on this list for sure. 2006, we've got more Tool. Oh, that's true. No City of Evil. That's true. You know what? Avenged Sevenfold needs to be on this list. I hope they're on somewhere. Tool, once again, I don't know what else came out in 2006. I'd have to look. But I'm pretty sure that there's something better than Tool. I'm pretty sure of that. In 2007, we've got Milk Lizard by Dillinger Escape Plan. I do not care for this album. I like early Dillinger better. I respect their later stuff. I think it's cool. But I personally feel like if you're going to put Dillinger on this list, it needs to be Calculating Infinity, in my personal opinion. But that's just me. 2008, we have Bleed by Meshuggah. Absolutely 100% yes, belongs on this list. This is a tough one because they're going up against Psychosocial here. And I do think that Psychosocial is the best Slipknot song, in my opinion. But, I mean, Bleed is just such a fucking, like, influential song. I mean, Bleed almost, like, started an entire genre, really, because this is the song where Meshuggah sort of broke out. They'd been around for 15 years or something at this point. Maybe even 20 years, I think. They'd been around for a long time already. But this is the song that really put Meshuggah on the map at a larger scale, and I think pretty much inspired the entire gent scene. So I think you got to have it on this list. 2009, we've got Oblivion by Mastodon. I don't really have any strong feelings about Mastodon. 2010, Ritual by Ghost. Again, I think it's valid. I'm not a huge fan of Ghost personally, but 2010 was certainly their breakout year. Ghost was for sure the most hype metal band of 2010, for sure. No question about that. Like on Metal Sucks and Metal Injection and stuff and all the, you know, hipster metal blogs at the time, Ghost was, you know, the band that everyone was like jerking off over. So I'm on board with this. 2011, Septic Flesh. I don't know what else came out in 2011, but I'm quite sure there was something better than Septic Flesh. No offense to them, but that seems like a very odd pick to me. 2012, we've got the song that I'm not going to try to say by Gojira. I would not choose this era of Gojira. And I got to say, I think Gojira is a very good band, but I don't really get, you know, the jerking off of Gojira. I think they're like, you know, they've got cool riffs. They have some very cool riffs. But I gotta say that I think Gojira is overrated. Gojira is a solid B tier band, but I don't think they belong on any list of like best metal songs ever, although I don't know what else came out in 2012. 2013, another Ghost song. I feel like we don't need two Ghost songs back to back like this. That feels like a bit much. I mean, Attila came out this year. You can't put Attila on this list, I guess, but I would. Yes, Shadow Moses. Yes, you're right. Shadow Moses should be on this list over another Ghost song for sure. How can you not have Sempiternal on here? Shadow Moses is definitely the most influential song on the last 10 years of metalcore. Like everyone is still chasing basically what Bring the Horizon did on Sempiternal, and for it not to be on this list, I think this list is BS. Loudwire, it's BS. Bull crap. This is a Christian stream, so I'm not going to say the S word. 2014, Behemoth, O Father, O Satan, O Son. I don't know. I think Behemoth's overrated too. Another Ghost, Jesus Christ. 3 Ghost songs? Come on, people. I get it. You like Ghost, but 3 Ghost songs in like less than 5 years? That seems like a bit much. I'm not on board with this. Gosh, heckin' darn it. This list is bull crap. Really? Another goddamn Ghost song? Another one? Come on, Loudwire. Why don't you just have like top 50 Ghost songs? Jesus. I mean, I think Ghost is a good band. I'm on board with them being on this list, but do we need this many fucking Ghost songs? 2017, Forever by Code Orange. I am a big Code Orange fan. I do think this song is awesome. 2018, we've got Lightning Strike by Judas Priest. Listen, huge respect to Judas Priest. I would love to be friends with Rob Halford. He seems like a great dude. Nothing but respect for them, but I cannot imagine that in 2018, the best metal song of the year was from a 40-year-old version of Judas Priest. Like, there's no way that this was the best song of 2018. I'd have to look and see, but there's 0% chance that Judas Priest dropped the song of the year in 2018. 2019, Rammstein. Another Rammstein song that sounds exactly like every other Rammstein song. No. 2020, Holy Roller by Spirit Box. Yes. Good. I'm totally on board with this. 21, we've got To the Hellfire by Lorna Shore. This is absolutely the song that should be in here for 2021. I would say To the Hellfire, probably one of the most important metal songs of the last 20 years. Even though Lorna Shore is not the biggest band, this is the song that I think really made deathcore big again, and sort of in general started the whole wave of like TikTok baddiecore that's happening now, which I would say is probably the most significant thing to happen to heavy music in quite a while. So I definitely think this song belongs on here, no question. 2022, we've got Handshake with Hell by Arch Enemy. And then the runner-up is We'll Be Back by Megadeth. I don't know about that. 2023, we've got The Summoning by Sleep Token. I'm on board with that. Once again, you know, I am a confirmed Sleep Token not enjoyer and not a huge fan of the band, but I do agree with this. This is true. This was Sleep Token's breakout year, and a lot of it is due to the overwhelming viral success of the Take Me Back to Eden single, The Summoning. That's a fact, and I'm on board with it. And no 2024. Okay, well, there it is, people. The best metal song of each year since 1970, according to Loudwire. Gotta say, I give this list a C. I give this list a C. Respect to my friends at Loudwire, but I'm not on board with this one. Sorry, people. Bum, 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 bum.